So welcome every one of you for this session, today's session. Based on what we discussed yesterday and based on what you heard today morning, we will talk some of the important aspects of association of devotees association. Before we do that, I just thought, how many of you attended the morning session today?
I attended, Prabhuji.
Yeah, I saw you, Chandra Brahman. Who else? Rima Mataji, could you attend?
No, Prabhuji, I didn't attend.
Yes, you didn't. I thought your sister was there. She asked a question also. She sent me the
Ritu?
message. Ritu, yeah.
Yes, she was there.
Oh, how about Jitendraji?
Prabhuji, I had the appointment at DL office, driving license office. So actually
You missed.
I missed that because I was actually driving at that time. So I could not attend that.
Shrey, are you there? Where are you there in the session? Shrey?
No, Prabhu, I couldn't join Prabhu this morning.
Kalini Mataji was there, I know. Oh no, she, okay. But you heard later, right, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhu.
Balram Prabhu was there here. I'm seeing some new names. Pretty curious. Ankita Kapoor.
She's my daughter, Prabhuji. She's in Rochester. She's doing residency there.
Okay,
So
welcome.
she'll join. She's
Nice.
free today.
Okay. I saw there was somebody else who probably dropped Palraj or someone. But anyway, doesn't matter. So let me ask, okay, from the session, those of you who attended, one learning, if you want to share, and there are devotees here as well. Badrinath, what is the learning from today's session? One learning. Balance between spiritual life and material life. Want to think and come, I'll come back. Okay. Panduranga? Means should not become the end. Means should not become the end. Okay. Chandraprabha Mataji?
I got one learning that if family and the environment is not supporting, then you have to do the best so that the Krishna will help you.
Okay. If
And
family,
another is the nishtha and faith and the regular association with devotees.
yeah, we hear this term regular association with devotees, and that's what we're trying to break it down and understand. I'll come to that. Palini Mataji?
What Chandraprabha Mataji just said about how association of devotees is important to keep KC strong. And the second point was what I recollect was family members don't support, or even children are not very enthusiastic about it, don't force. It will just happen. If it has to happen, it will happen. Do your duty and leave it at that. No forcing. He gave the example of that family of children who became rebels when they became older. A real life example.
Okay. Okay. Balram Rao?
Where there is a will, there is a way. He said, main thing is to keep the main thing the main thing. That was one quote he had said. Association is contagious.
Yeah.
Sandwich program.
Yeah.
So these were the few things he said.
Yes, very nice. So yantrita. Okay. Plus.
One thing which I was mentioning, like ambition, but have personal ambition to spiritual life, whatever it is authorized, and if the responsibility is as mercy of Lord and delivery of service.
Yeah, I think that's towards the end, one of the questions was answered. Okay. You see some of the things which you just Bhargav Prabhu, any one point? I think you were there in the class today.
Yes, Prabhu. One point is like, somebody asked the question saying that the son is needed a lot of attention, and if he can now serve him, is it serving the Krishna? But that is not the quite right. That's what Prabhu said. No, whenever we are doing some other activities also, we can chant and we can do it. But serving the family members or the needy people is not serving the Lord.
Right. It's not the same. Okay, very nice. My intention of the session that we have for, let's say, 7:30 to 8:30. See, what is happening is some of the things has to sink deep within. Yesterday I was telling about the culture of knowledge, right? Spiritual life is not just learning another session or assimilating or accumulating more information. It is about changing our behavior, changing our habits, changing our patterns of life, right? So each one of us, based on our upbringing and the environment and the association, we have different habits, different mindsets, different preferences. And spiritual life is all about, bringing that evolution. It is bringing, it's like Prabhu was mentioning, out of 8,400,000 species. Ankit, sorry, I didn't ask you. I'll ask you if you quickly can share one learning from today's session. Morning.
Yes, Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Yes, from today's session, like association is very important. That is very significant. If we are not associated with the devotees, then I think we are not on right track. And one thing which I learned from today's lecture is like birds of a feather flock together. So that is also like we can if we are having same association, then we will having same type of activities which we can which will be definitely enhancing our spiritual path actually. So that is very important to have association of devotees.
Okay, all right. So you see, what I was trying to say is, we all know that there are 8,400,000 species of life in this material world, and out of which this 400,000 species are human beings. So 400,000 species are not divided based on the caste, creed, color, nationality. No, it is based on the division of evolution of our consciousness. That actually, I don't remember exactly which purport, but there is a purport in Bhagavatam where Prabhupada writes that human beings are also a species of animals. We are like animals if we are untrained. If we are left to us, then we all have those animalistic tendencies or propensities to live life like an animal. Spiritual knowledge is all about this training, this process of adopting some lifestyle changes, which brings which uplifts our consciousness, and we rise up in the ladder of the evolution of human species. And that is what exactly is the goal of life. That is what exactly is needed. Otherwise, what is the difference? Even animals are living their life based on eating, sleeping, mating, and defending, and we are also doing the same things. In fact, we don't even remember or realize that this human life is a valuable gift which will be coming to an end if we don't use it properly. That remembrance, that realization also doesn't stay with us every day, every moment. That is the reason, even though we have heard this, we have read this, we have seen this, we still don't find enough convincing reasons to do it every day. We struggle there. So let's just start with the point which Balram Prabhu was mentioning. The important thing, or the main thing in life, is to keep the main thing the main thing. I have been, this is there in the Stephen Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Successful People, if you've read. I've also quoted this earlier, but it's actually a very important thing. Very, very important thing. The main thing is to keep the main thing the main thing. And if we fail to do that, then all other not so important thing becomes important thing in our life, and we don't even realize it has slipped away from our hands. It has become, when it has become secondary, we have even no idea. So very, very important to understand the mood of our acharyas, especially our spiritual master. What is his mood? He has given so many instructions. What exactly is the mood? Prabhupada says that these temples are like oases in the desert. And these are oases. Now temples, if you see, we are trying also to build a temple. Temple is not just about bricks, cement, and walls and having a structure. No. Temples are all about devotees, and it is very, very important to associate with devotees. Why? Otherwise, this knowledge was available. Prabhupada had printed these books. He would have just told you, practice this from your home. Finished. Chant 16 rounds, go to your home, read these books, and you can manage your Krishna conscious life. Why there was a need for International Society for Krishna Consciousness? Because we need to constantly associate with each other to enhance our devotional mood and consciousness. And how does that happen? That we will see in few verses. But the first principle, as Prabhu was mentioning, is we often miss on this point, to keep the main thing the main thing. Sometimes in the name of taking care of families, taking care of the responsibilities of the job, taking care of other social, personal obligations, we neglect our spiritual duty. We take it granted. Okay, one day I missed the session. Tomorrow also is fine. 2 days only I'm missing. After all, I've been attending for such a long time. Or I feel I can pick it up. I can always go back and watch the recordings. But believe me, it is not about hearing or watching the recordings. It is the Sangha. It is coming together. The fact that, even though we are separated, still we are able to come together and discuss. And we are getting a chance to hear. As per Bhagavad Gita, I'll quote that verse, I'll quote that statement. We are the most fortunate. Unfortunately, even if we are the most fortunate, we don't take advantage of our fortunate situation. We hear, we attend, but we are passive. We are not very, very actively listening. There are some very, very key concepts, 3 or 4, and I'll close it at 8:15 and we will have some question answer. The first and foremost, as Prabhu was mentioning, is to keep the main thing the main thing. I may have lots of responsibilities. I may have lots of services to do. I may have lots of duties to perform, but I cannot neglect, not at the cost of my spiritual life. Because as Prabhu was mentioning, these are all zeros. How many zeros I can accumulate in my life? If I don't have the one before that, it's all zero. If I don't have Krishna, all these are only addition of 10 zeros, 20 zeros, 100 zeros, but they're still zeros. The value doesn't change. So that is why the spiritual life, little negligence, not even too much, little. And the interesting part is like the verse that we were seeing the last day of our Kartik meditation, Tad Buddhayas Tad Atmanas. We get justification from our mind and intelligence. This is right. Okay, you can take liberty. Who is stopping you? After all, they can't. Nobody can force me. I'll do what I feel like, and what I do, I slip away. And then what happens? Slowly, when I'm, slipping away from the association of devotees, I start. Already there is the mentality of mind and intelligence to become independent. And on top of that, when this kind of a situation happens, I start finding faults with everyone in the system. And sometimes people leave from the association of devotees, saying that this is just unpalatable, unpleasant. I'm better off in the material world. But very little they realize that the moment they go out, even chanting 16 rounds becomes difficult. Even that becomes difficult. I have personal experience of various devotees whom I have met. Very unfortunate that they leave, but they leave for some reasons. When the mind and intelligence is justifying, this is not the right place. Let me go out and practice. After all, it is a matter of chanting 16 rounds and following these 4 regulative principles and being engaged in devotional service. I'll do it on my own. It becomes extremely difficult because at that point in time, we are not associating with devotees, but we are associating with our own mind. And mind only gives rational justifications for not practicing spiritual life. There is a beautiful story of a man who was asked by his spiritual master to read Bhagavad Gita. He was a brahmachari, 2 dhotis and 2 kurtas he had. One dhoti he'll wash and put it for drying, the other one he'll be wearing. And his spiritual master told him that you read this Bhagavad Gita. He didn't have any house, nothing. He was sitting under a tree and he was supposed to read Bhagavad Gita. When he started reading Bhagavad Gita, he saw that, the dhoti and the kurta that he has washed and put it for drying, that dhoti and kurta was being nibbled by a rat. So he thought, oh my God, now this rat is nibbling. It's a tension. It's a problem. I should have a cat. If I have a cat, then the rat will not eat away my dhoti and kurta. So he had a pet cat. Now to maintain the cat, he thought that he should have a cow, because when he has a cow will give milk, and that milk will be given to the cat, and the cat will take care of the rat. So he purchased a cow. And then, maintaining cow is not easy. It is not just, you bring a cow and the cow will start giving milk. It is, the cow has to have a calf, then the milk will come. And maintaining the cow is, you have to give some grass and the other fodder and all, take care of the cows. And then only it is possible. So then he thought, if he does all those things, then how will he read Bhagavad Gita? Better let him get married. If he gets married, he'll have a wife who will take care of the cow. Cow will give milk. Milk will be given to the cat. Cat will take care of the rat. And then the dhoti can be dried and he'll be reading Bhagavad Gita. Now the wife cannot live under a tree. Now that he's not alone, he wants to marry, he has to have a wife, then he should have a house. Only when he has a house, then only the wife can live. And if wife lives, he'll take care of the cow. Cow will give milk. Milk will be given to cat. Cat will take care of the rat, and rat will not disturb his clothes. So he got married. He had a wife. He had a house. He had cows. He had cat. He had everything. He forgot Bhagavad Gita reading. And that's sometimes what happens to us also in our life. In the name of practicing devotional life, we prioritize all other things over our spiritual life. I missed Mangalarti one day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, many days. months, then it doesn't bother, it doesn't affect me. I missed chanting my rounds, specific number of rounds. 1 day, 2 day, 2 days, maybe I'll feel little worried, agitated, or little disturbed, or maybe I missed. After that, okay, 7 days, 10 days, and it is fine. And then I don't even realize when I have come to a state where I don't even chant. These are not exaggerations. These are all realities of life. So it can happen not just to any one of the people that we know. It can happen to us. The biggest problem is when it happens to us, we don't realize. We feel I'm in control of my life. ठीक है, तो एक दो बार नहीं गया तो क्या इतना बड़ा सीन क्यों मना रहे? It's okay. I know. But as I said, the symptoms of evolution of consciousness is seen in our behavior. How we are doing this. Prabhu was mentioning about that sandwich method, where there is a layer on the top and layer on the bottom. In between the day, we have to do some devotional activities. The layer in the top has to be, like Prabhu was telling, we are blessed in that way. We are blessed in that way that, we have given up our families, we have given up all our material responsibilities. We are in the temple where we can hear from early morning till 9:30, not just holy name, starting from Mangalarati, meditating on that, the holy names, then hearing Bhagavatam, taking prasadam together. Big, strong protection. We miss out on this. The layer becomes thin, 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 thin. We miss out some things, some portion of this sadhana. Then our spiritual life is like Prabhu was telling, it's wobbling, it's weak. And then throughout the day, we do some devotional activities. And then again, in the end, when we, the day is coming to an end, if we don't engage in some devotional activities, which could be even simple reading or chanting the names of the Lord, then again, it is becoming squeezed. The layers, this Maya, it depletes this top two portions, either on the top or on the bottom. So when it depletes the layers, then our spiritual life is a challenge, is a question mark. So it is. That's why our attitude, our behavior, it speaks for us. We don't need to have a lot of proof when we see people are struggling to join the sessions. Not just the sessions. It's not exactly the session. Basically, it is about doing things whimsically. When I feel like, I'll come. When I don't feel like, I'll not. So these are all not Sunyantrita, the first word which was used by Prabhu. Sunyantrita is like a well-oiled machine, which Prabhupada uses the example. It doesn't make noise. Very smoothly it goes. Every day the same activity it does, but performs without any disturbance. Perfectly it goes. Whereas in our life, if today I am doing this thing, tomorrow I am doing something else, day after tomorrow something, I have no control of what I am doing at what time. And I know for sure that evening time we have some association. I don't have the conviction that it is good for me, or I am going to be benefited from that. So I feel I should do something else. What's the big deal? Half an hour, 45 minutes I do. I have some important work to finish. I have an important call to make, and I neglect. One negligence leads to another. That second negligence leads to a third. And by the time we realize, it has become a habit. I don't feel like even attending. We send these quotes in the morning, Mangalarti, not Mangalarti, at 7:30. Some of the quotes which is sent by Amidasan Prabhu, and I share this with all of you. I asked some of the devotees, we don't see this. The same quotes are sent. There is a need we felt, and we became part of the group. But in that group also, I hardly see them. I don't feel anything wrong if I have not seen 1 day, 2 days. After all, there are 4 quotes only which are coming. They all look the same, similar stuff, and it keeps going in life. This is exactly what is called taking things granted. I'm sure you would have heard about this famous experiment which was done in New York subway. There was a famous violinist by name Joshua Bell. You can search for this. This is actual experiment which was performed. Joshua Bell, incognito, he performed in that subway of New York. It was a busy New York, and it was probably that day. It was a winter morning. It had snowed the previous day, and the next day people were very busy to go to their work, to go to their respective places. All hurriedly, they are going through that subway. And Joshua Bell was using one of the costliest violin and playing there, and a tune which is very intricate, very, very, very attractive. Even an ordinary person who has no taste for music and violin or appreciation for that will also get captivated. And he was playing that. Same Joshua Bell, 2 days before, he had performed a performance. He had given a performance in Boston. And I don't remember which hall it was, but it was packed. The tickets were, it was fully sold out, $100 or something like that, very expensive. Same Joshua Bell was sitting in New York City in the subway, using the costliest of violin and playing there. Many passers-by go by that, when that experiment was done, maybe 1 hour or something he was sitting. But then hardly people noticed. Few people stopped, few people threw some coins, and everybody kept going, kept moving in life. The example is given to tell something which is so deeply part of our life. That's called familiarity breeds contempt. Okay, in that group, they'll share some message. ठीक है, 4 मैसेज आया, नहीं देखा, क्या हो गया? कल आएगा, फिर कल देखेंगे, कल भी नहीं देखा, परसों भी नहीं देखा, 1 हफ्ता नहीं देखा, उसके बाद ठीक है, कुछ मैसेजेस भेज रहे हैं, भेजने दो, कभी कभी मेरा मन किया तो देख लूंगा. Like that it happens. We don't even see those messages. We don't see even the posts that we have for. We joined the group voluntarily, saying that this is important for me because I have a goal in my life. I want to go back home, back to Godhead in this human form of life. But so easily we forget these things, and things become so for granted. We just leave it. We lose it. And one of the key things which ensures that we are diverted or digressed is lack of association of devotees. So let me just share a very beautiful verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, and so important that verse is. Is my screen visible?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
So this, I'll go quickly. This verse is from 3rd Canto, 25th chapter, 25th verse. This is a conversation which is happening between Kapila Muni and Mother Devahuti. And Kapila Dev is speaking this verse. And this verse is often quoted by Srila Prabhupada. Satam prasangan mama virya samvido bhavanti hrit karna rasayana katha tad joshanad asu apavarga vartamani shraddha ratir bhaktir anukrameshyati. I'm sure you would have heard this verse earlier. I'm probably assuming that you would have seen, but this verse has so many wonderful clues and gems of how we should take advantage of association of devotees. Let's see this. So this verse says, in the association of pure devotees, discussion of the pastimes and activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is very pleasing and satisfying to the ear and the heart. By cultivating such knowledge, one gradually becomes advanced on the path of liberation. And therefore he is freed and his attraction becomes fixed. The real devotion and devotional service begin. Shraddha, Ratir, Bhaktir, Anukrameshyati. And step by step this comes. Shraddha, Ratir, Bhaktir, Anukrameshyati. Will follow in order. Satam Prasangan, Mama Virya Samvido. Satam Prasangan, in association of devotees. Satam. Prasangan, Mama Prasangan. Lord's pastimes, when we hear Virya Samvido, there is a potency which is released. Bhavanti Rit Karna Rasayana Kataha, Rasayanaha. To hear about Krishna and his activities is not at all interesting. This is the fact. We don't have interest. There is an IPL match, we can sacrifice many things to watch that. There is something else going on which is of interest, a new movie, new this thing, new series, web series. We have a lot of interest. We can sacrifice our sleep, we can sacrifice our so many things and we'll be hearing. But Krishna Katha, no. Bhavanti Hrit Karna Rasayanaha. So when in association of devotees, Satam Prasangan, Mama Virya, Mama Prasangan, Virya Samvido, when we talk about this, Bhavanti Hrit Karna Rasayana, mind and heart, it becomes pleasing to that and to the ears also. Hrit Karna Rasayana, it is satisfying and pleasing. Bhavanti Hrit Karna Rasayana Katha, Tad Joshana Dasu Apavarga Vartamani. You see, the word again used here is by cultivation of such knowledge. It is not just the knowledge. Cultivation of knowledge means it's an inbuilt this thing that we have to change our behavior. We have to change, and that comes when we come in association of devotees. Tad Joshana Dasu Apavarga Vartamani. By cultivating such knowledge, one gradually becomes advanced in the path of liberation. And therefore, he is freed and his attraction becomes fixed. Then real devotion and devotional service begins. It's a beautiful purport. I'll read the purport. Hear this. This is the crux of the whole thing. The process of advancing in Krishna consciousness and devotional service is described here. The first point is that one must seek the association of persons who are Krishna conscious and who are engaged in devotional service. Without such association, one cannot make advancement. Simply by theoretical knowledge or study, one cannot make any appreciable advancement. One must give up the association of materialistic persons and seek the association of devotees, because without the association of devotees, one cannot understand the activities of the Lord. Generally, people are convinced of the impersonal feature of the absolute truth. Because they do not associate with devotees, they cannot understand that the absolute truth can be a person and have a personal activities. This is very difficult subject matter. And unless one has personal understanding of the absolute truth, there is no meaning to devotion. Service or devotion cannot be offered to anything impersonal. Service must be offered to a person. Non-devotees cannot appreciate Krishna consciousness by reading the Srimad Bhagavatam or any other Vedic literature wherein the activities of the Lord are described. They think that these activities are fictional, manufactured stories because spiritual life is not explained to them in the proper mood. To understand the personal activities of the Lord, one has to seek the association of devotees. And by such association, when one contemplates and tries to understand the transcendental activities of the Lord, the path to liberation is open and he is freed. One who has firm faith in the Supreme Personality of Godhead becomes fixed, and his attraction for association with the Lord and the devotees increases. Association with devotees means association with the Lord. The devotee who makes this association develops consciousness for rendering service to the Lord. And then, being situated in the transcendental position of devotional service, he gradually becomes perfect. It's this purport. I think you got to read very slowly, very minutely, because there are a lot of important points. First, I mean, if I have to just go, and share some. The first thing which Prabhupada writes in the first line, the process of advancing in Krishna consciousness and devotional service is described here. That is, often we ask, Prabhu, I'm doing, but I'm not making advancement. I'm not seeing that I'm advancing or not. I'm not sure. You are looking for an answer to a question which is mentioned by Prabhupada here. The process of advancing in Krishna consciousness and devotional service is described here. And the first point is that one must seek the association of persons who are Krishna conscious and who engage in devotional service. First point is that one must seek the association of persons who are Krishna conscious and who engage in devotional service. I must seek. It is not easy. It is not at all easy to find such a thing. And if you carefully see, there is another line which Prabhupada is using: simply by theoretical knowledge or study, one cannot make any appreciable advancement. The two words is appreciable advancement. It is not possible to make appreciable advancement. Simply I can read. I'll sit in one place and read, do some theoretical study. But simply by theoretical knowledge or study, one cannot make any appreciable advancement. Actually, one must give up the association of materialistic persons. That's what it is saying. And one must practice devotional life in association of devotees. Why is it so important to associate with devotees? I'll talk about that. But one very important thing in this purport, if you see, of course, the whole purport is talking about advancement in devotional life is based on association with devotees. But if you see, there is the word which is used here is one must seek the association of persons who are Krishna conscious. Then one must give up the association of materialistic persons and seek the association of devotees. We have to seek association of devotees. It's not going to fall from somewhere in the sky. When I am going through some difficult situations, I have to be concerned about my spiritual life. I must go and open my heart and mind and seek help. Seeking help is necessary. Seek is like, let's say, GPS. You give a location and you say, this is my destination, I want to go. It seeks which is the shortest path to reach there. If my goal is to go back home, back to Godhead, I must seek the association of devotees. Seek the association of persons who are Krishna conscious, who engage in devotional service. The word is used 3 times by Srila Prabhupada in this purport. Not take association of devotees, seek the association of devotees. One has to seek the association of devotees, and by such association, when one contemplates and tries to understand the transcendental activities of the Lord, the path to liberation is open and he is freed. It's a very, very important thing. Why association of devotees is very important? Can anybody say why is it very important? The reason it is very important because Prabhupada of Krishna mentions in the Bhagavatam in one place where Vidura has come back from the pilgrimage to Hastinapur to liberate or to give instructions to his brother Dhritarashtra. And this verse is so significant. I'll just show you that verse. This verse is Bhavad Vidha Bhagavatas Tirtha Bhuta Swayam Vibhu Tirthi Kurvanti Tirthani Swantah Stena Gadabhrata. Gadabhrata means Krishna. Bhavad Vidha Bhagavatas Tirtha Bhuta Swayam Vibhu Tirthi Kurvanti Tirthani Swantah Stena Gadabhrata. So he's telling Bhavad Vidha Bhagavataha. Actually, this verse is spoken by Yudhishthir Maharaj to Vidur. And Vidur is telling that, my Lord, devotees like you, your good self, are verily holy places personified. Bhavad Vidha Bhagavatas, Tirtha Bhuta Swayam Vibhu. You are holy places personified. You carry the holy place in your heart. Tirtha Bhuta Swayam Vibhu. Tirthi Kurvanti Tirthani. Wherever you go, you make that place as a place of pilgrimage. Tirthi Kurvanti Tirthani Swanta Stena Gadabhrata. Because you carry the personality of Godhead within your heart. You turn all places into places of pilgrimage. So why the association of devotees is important? Because they are very dear to Krishna and they carry Krishna in their hearts. Tirthi Kurvanti Tirthani. In the purport, actually, there is a very beautiful point which Prabhupada mentions. One should also find the representatives of Vidura who have no desire in life save and except to serve the personality of Godhead. Actually, it is very difficult to find someone like this. Save and except serve the personality of Godhead, who is a representative of Vidura. Very interestingly, in this episode, one of the things which I want to highlight, which you probably may know, may not know, but Bhagavatam definitely points out and talks about it. I said this verse is spoken by Yudhishthir Maharaj to Vidura. And I also told, if you remember this this chapter, this is called Dhritarashtra quits home or something like that. So Vidura has come. He is compassionate on his own brother, Dhritarashtra, who's not just materially blind, but also spiritually blind. He has compassion and he is coming and giving association. He's just talking to him, just pure talking, nothing else. For a few days in Hastinapur, he just talks to Dhritarashtra, and Dhritarashtra finally quits home. But in the whole episode of this conversation, Samvada between Vidura and Dhritarashtra, one thing to point, one thing to remember or see what these Pandavas are doing. Is it that Dhritarashtra was spiritually blind, so he needs all these instructions? We are all pure devotees, we don't need to hear this. Let him go and preach to Dhritarashtra. We will do our devotional activities or other things that is important to us. For me, hearing is not required. I'm a very big devotee. No, they were all sitting and hearing Vidura. The mark, the hallmark of a pure devotee or a devotee who's advanced is that he develops this tremendous interest to hear Krishna Katha. This is the sign. We were discussing about Bhisma Dev's departure. Bhisma Dev on his deathbed was giving instruction to Yudhishthir and all the Pandavas. Who came to attend? Who was there in that assembly? There was Sukadev Goswami who was present. What is the need for Sukadev Goswami to be there? He's, we know his Brahmarad, his Atma Ramascha Munaya, Nirgrantha, Urukrama. He doesn't need all these things. He's also there. This is actually the sign. This is a symptom. This cannot. This one has to develop. This one has to come to that stage. Otherwise, in our devotional life is just mechanical. There is no meaning. Simply doing some activities is not what devotional life is all about. Pandavas were very eagerly hearing the instruction of Vidura, what he is telling to Dhritarashtra, even though they are pure devotees of the Lord, eternal associates of the Lord. And this is a very important thing. The whole idea is about hearing. Let me share another very interesting thing with the time. Let's say that 5 minutes. This is a purport from Bhagavad Gita. So this verse is the 9th chapter, 1st verse of Bhagavad Gita. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. Idam tute gushyatamam prabhakshami anasuyave jnanam vijnanam sahitam yajgyantva mokshase asubhat. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. Idam tute gushyatamam. This is the most confidential knowledge. The title of this 9th chapter is Rajavidya. Idam tute gushyatamam prabhakshami anasuyave. I'm going to tell you now, because you are anasuyave, you don't have envy in your heart. You are free from, you're non-envious. Jnanam vijnanam sahitam yajgyantva mokshase asubhat. So you'll get jnanam and vijnanam, theoretical knowledge as well as realized knowledge. Yajgyantva mokshase asubhat. Whatever, this inebrities, the impurities of this material existence is there, mokshase asubhat. All this asubhat, you'll become freed from that. You'll become released. What is the purport in this? Very interesting, of course. The translation Prabhupada is saying the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, my dear Arjuna, because you are never envious of me, I shall impart to you this most confidential knowledge and realization, knowing which you shall be relieved of the miseries of material existence. Please pay attention to the purport where Prabhupada is saying something very, very powerful. As a devotee hears more and more about the Supreme Lord, he becomes enlightened. This hearing process is recommended in the Srimad Bhagavatam. The message of the Supreme Personality of Godhead are full of potencies, and these potencies can be realized if topics regarding the Supreme Godhead are discussed amongst devotees. It's a very important thing. The message of the Supreme Personality of Godhead are full of potencies. Mama Virya Samvido, it says potency is there. And these potencies can be realized Vijnanam, the Jnanam Vijnanam Sahitam, can be realized if topics regarding the Supreme Personality of Godhead are discussed amongst devotees. This cannot be achieved by the association of mental speculators or academic scholars, for it is realized knowledge. Cannot be achieved. The devotee are constantly engaged in the Supreme Lord's service. The Lord understands the mentality and sincerity of a particular living entity who is engaged in Krishna consciousness and gives him the intelligence to understand the science of Krishna in the association of devotees. See, the devotees are constantly engaged in the Supreme Lord service. The Lord understands the mentality and sincerity of a particular living entity. What is the mentality? Why am I doing this? And what is how much sincere I am within? If I want to cheat, I don't know for what reasons, but if I want to, or for the namesake, if I'm doing some devotional activity, I really don't mean it. I really don't have any intention of doing it. But what to do? I've been asked to do, I'll do. I'll do something, I'll try to do some manipulation. I don't know, whatever it is. The Lord understands the mentality and sincerity of a particular living entity who's engaged in Krishna consciousness and gives him the intelligence to understand the science of Krishna in the association of devotees. Discussion of Krishna is very potent. And if a fortunate person has such associations, if a fortunate person has such association and tries to assimilate the knowledge, then he will surely make advancement towards spiritual realization. He will surely make progress towards he'll surely make advancement towards spiritual realization. Lord Krishna, in order to encourage Arjuna to higher and higher elevation in his potent service, describe in this 9th chapter matters more confidential than any he has already disclosed. One last point before we close our time together. And now you see, we all know about the Chatushloki of Bhagavad Gita, right? The essence of Bhagavad Gita spoken by Krishna in 4 nutshell verses. Now, if you see the Chatushloki Bhagavad Gita, the first verse, Krishna explains his supremacy. Aham sarvasya prabhavo matta sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvitaha. He explains who he is, what that supreme truth is, what is his real position. After establishing his supremacy, the very next verse, just the next verse, he talks about the importance of association with devotees. What is that verse? That verse is Madchitta Madgata Prana Bodhayantah Parasparam Kathayantascha Mam Nityam Tushyanti Cha Ramanti Cha. This is the science of association with devotees. Association of devotees doesn't mean that 2 devotees come and start talking about the new movie which is released or about some material mundane topic. Did you know I bought this thing from Amazon, or I bought it from some Home Depot, or I did this and this is so nice. I did some cooking yesterday. This looks so good, delicious. No, because that is why the science of association of devotees is, imagine the importance. If this is the Chatushloki of Bhagavad Gita, the 2nd verse itself, Krishna is talking about association with devotees. Madchitta Madgata Prana Bodhayantah Parasparam Kathayantascha Mam Nityam Tushyanti Cha Ramanti Cha. First thing is saying Mat Chitta, the mind's fully engaged. The thoughts of pure devotees dwell in me. So the word used here is dwell in me. Dwell means it's, it is not like coming and going. I come, okay, what did I came for some devotional service. Okay, good, I did and finished, over. The thoughts of my pure devotees dwell in me. That means they are thinking about it consistently. Thoughts of my pure devotees dwell in me. Not just temporarily. I come, okay, they told, I did. Not just, one sentence. The devotees are constantly thinking about the Lord. Mat Chitta, their thoughts are absorbed. It is dwelling on Krishna. Then Mat Gata Prana, their lives are fully devoted to my service. Bodhayantaha Parasparam, and they derive great satisfaction and bliss from always enlightening one another. So the word used here is Bodhayantaha. Bodhayanta, enlightening one another, means preaching. Preaching what? Preaching about Krishna. Is it like, only I don't need to be preached. Your preaching is meant for only some new people. I'm a senior devotee. I don't need to be. No. Bodhayantaha. It is preaching one another. Parasparam. And that they derive great satisfaction and bliss from always enlightening one another and conversing about me. So they are getting this pleasure and satisfaction both. They derive great satisfaction and bliss by the where does it come from? The juice, the nectar. We're talking about Krishna Katha, when Krishna is there in the center of activities, not about some mundane thing. Otherwise, like Kunti Maharani says, what is that verse? Mitoh Kali. When the discussion is not about Krishna, when Krishna is lacking in the center of discussion, then it becomes a material gossip or a material topic, always ends up with some kind of argument or some kind of quarrel, because Krishna is missing. Whereas Matchitta, the devotees whose thoughts dwell in me, whose lives are fully devoted to me, they bodhayantah parasparam, they derive great satisfaction and bliss from enlightening one another and conversing about me. Tushyanti cha ramanti cha. So the signs of association of devotees is when they come, they exchange, they open their heart, they talk the challenges, and they share. They not only just, it is not like one way thing, they also share what is their understanding, and by that they bodhayanta kathayantaschaman tushyanti cha. They become satisfied, enlightened, and blissful. So this is the real art and science of doing association of devotees. And the important thing is, in association of devotees, practicing these principles of the regulative principles of the 4 regulative principles becomes easy. Otherwise, it is very difficult. Kali Yuga is very, very, as the time progresses, it is very, very alluring. It is very disturbing. And in this disturbance, when we are not careful, when we are not vigilant, when we are not alert, and when we take things granted, then we are inviting trouble for ourselves. I'll stop here and see if you have any questions.
Prabhu, I have a question. So what are the different ways one can get association of devotees? Is it only talking? Is it only face-to-face interaction?
I think in Nectar of Instruction, Rupa Goswami says there are 6 principles of, or the 6 ways of associating with devotees. What is that verse? Dadati pratigranati guisham akhyati prichati bhunte bhojayate chaiva sadvidha priti lakshana. Dadati pratigranati, giving gifts. Actually, one should be attached. One should have love. Imagine a parent, if a parent is asked to speak about his child, how happy he feels, or when he hears about his children, somebody else praising, how nice he feels. Oh, so my children are praised, I feel very happy about that. So like that, one has to have an attachment for devotees. One has to have an attachment to be in association with devotees. It is where you feel happy. If that is there, then automatically dadati pratigranati will come. You would like to give, you would like to receive gifts. Guishamakyati, one asks questions and one reveals one's heart and hears both. Guishamakyati prichati. Bhunte bhojati, eats and also brings prasada. All these are sadvidha priti lakshanam. Association of devotees doesn't mean that one has to come and just speak, or just come and stand next to another devotee. I'm in association. Association of devotees can be very subtle, seeing those simple actions which a devotee performs, but with what faith and conviction it can brush along. So that is why the mood or what are our acharyas saying? What are the principles of devotional life are very important to know. Very, very important. If our goal is to go back home, back to Godhead, And if that is the real goal, I recently came across a very powerful sentence. I would like to share this. It's in the purport of 1.5.20. Not 1.5.21. 5. Give me just 1 minute. The purport is 1.5.24. Let me share this purport and tell you how important this purport is. Just one line of that purport, but it's so important to know. You see, this is the last line of the 1.5.24. So let's read from here. Without being fully obedient, no one can become successful in following the instructions of the spiritual master. And without doing so, no one is able to go back to Godhead. So if our goal is to go back home, back to Godhead, then the most important thing is to follow the instructions of the spiritual master. Without following the instructions of the spiritual master, one cannot go back home, back to Godhead. But the question comes, how can I follow the instructions of spiritual master? And that is answered in the previous line, without being self-controlled, one, without being disciplined, and without being fully obedient, three things. Without being self-controlled, without being disciplined, and without being fully obedient, no one can become successful in following the instructions of the spiritual master. And without doing so, no one is able to go back to Godhead. So if we really want to follow the instructions of the spiritual master, the three things which are required is self-controlled, disciplined, self-disciplined, and obedient. Now, how do you become self-controlled? How do you become self-disciplined? That self-control, self-discipline means I should be strong in my sadhana. The top layer and the bottom layer, which Prabhu mentioned, the sandwich method, has to be strong. And how will that become strong? It will only become strong if I am in association of devotees, if I take advantage of association of devotees. If I don't, then it's difficult to become self-controlled, difficult to become self-disciplined, difficult to become obedient. And without that, following the instructions is difficult. That is exactly what happens in spiritual life. So self-control without being disciplined and without being fully obedient, no one can become successful in following the instructions of the spiritual master. And without doing so, no one is able to go back to Godhead. So the answer to your question is in one line. I just wanted to bring this important message, because if really our goal is that, then we should be in a position to follow the instructions of the spiritual master. For that, we should be self-controlled, disciplined, and obedient. If we want to do any of these three things, we need association of devotees. Because all this anarthas which we have prevent us to become self-controlled. I want to indulge. Prevent us to become disciplined. I want to do something which I feel like whenever I feel like I'll do. It prevents us to become obedient, because I have a big false ego. I want to do things as per my own whims and fancies. I don't want to listen to anyone. But then I cannot follow the instructions of spiritual master. So the key to all this is how are we associating with devotees? Does that help?
Yes, Prabhu.
Any other question?
So one question I have. So you're talking about the layer, the thick layer of the top and end. So the first layer is the morning thing. What the end layer? What is the other layer was talking about?
Evening layer again is, we wind up our activities for the day by whatever material duties or obligations we have, or the services that we are doing, by again, taking our consciousness back to some spiritual things, like reading Krishna book or doing something, some spiritual activity, and then taking rest. See, the word which Prabhu was using is called permeates, right? So if we have a good protection at the top, at the bottom, then that consciousness will permeate throughout our activities, throughout the activities that we are doing in the day. If we don't have, if imagine there is a very thin layer at the top and a very thin layer or no layer at the top and bottom, only material things, then the material consciousness prevails. It becomes predominant. But if we have sufficient protection, there is a chance. That is how the balance in material and spiritual life is possible. That is, when we do that, when we have solid thick layer both at the top and the bottom, then that permeates throughout the day. Even if I'm engaged in some activities, my consciousness is proper. Doing the activity is not important. What activity I'm doing is not very important. It is with what consciousness. How am I doing that? How am I engaging in devotional service? How is a very important thing. Out of grudge, out of force, out of fear, out of what people will say I'm doing, or I'm really, in the right mood, because my constitutional position is I'm servant of the Lord. Now, whether I'm doing in that mood. So what determines that is the top and the bottom there. Does that help, Yanji?
Yeah, it was the reading of the book at the night, right? That's what is the precise.
Could be any spiritual activity. Could be even just sitting in front of the Lord and doing some kirtan or chanting also is fine, but it has to be done. It has to be practiced. If we are serious about this. Any other questions?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Prabhuji, only one question. Is it recommendable to read Bhagavad Gita from the start, or like from in between? Like you said, chapter 9 is very significant, so we can start reading from there itself.
No, I mean, if you want to just get a feel of it, you are new to Krishna consciousness, you read one chapter randomly, that's fine. But the recommendation which Prabhupada has given everywhere, I have not seen any exception to that, is we should read cover to cover. We should read from beginning till end. From page 1 to the last page. Sequentially, serially. You will be, your understanding and assimilation of this knowledge will be many times higher if you do random studies.
Okay, sure.
Any other question? I would like to hear if there is no question from, okay, yes, you can go ahead, Prabhu, Arvind Prabhu. Arvind Prabhu, you were saying something? Okay.
No.
Okay, I would like to hear from the newcomer for today's session. Ankita, you have anything to share?
Prabhuji, I think the whole discussion today was very relevant for me, because this has happened to me that initially I was taking out time for chanting, but then as you mentioned that on day 1 you don't do it, you feel guilty, then on day 2 you don't do it, then weeks and months pass, and then so I think it was very helpful for me that I have to I have to make conscious efforts to do this. So I thank you for this session.
Great. I'm happy that you could connect or you found something inspiring. I just wanted to tell you one story. I love this story. This is not a story exactly. This is a real life incident, and it was narrated by one of Prabhupada's early disciple by name Tamal Krishna Maharaj. So he narrates about an incident which happened in his life You see, this whole movement was started by Prabhupada in the in the US, and then
Yeah.
in the 70s, Prabhupada had taken some of his disciples to Calcutta. So there were few sannyasis, and this Tamal Krishna at that time was not a sannyasi; he was a grahastha, Tamal Krishna Adhikari. And Prabhupada had entrusted this responsibility of making life members. All the responsibilities related to that was given to Tamal Krishna. So Tamal Krishna Maharaj was finding it, Tamal Krishna Adhikari was finding it very difficult. He was alone, he had no support, and he wanted to do, starting this life membership is a very difficult, arduous task. You have to maintain all the records, who has given how much of money, sending them books and all those kind of things. There was no support. When he was asking all this God brothers, his sannyasis, they were refusing, saying that we have got preaching work to do, we've got this to do, we've got that to do, and they were all very hesitant. So one day he just couldn't take it. It just became too much. It was like, it has reached the brim and it was just boiling. And he went to Prabhupada and he said, Prabhupada, I'm just not able to do it. Please, Prabhupada, I just can't do it. Please just take away all these responsibilities from me. And he started crying in front of Prabhupada. Prabhupada looked at him and he said, it's all right, it's all right. And he was smiling. And then Prabhupada said this story. It's a very nice story. Prabhupada said, you see, you would have also seen, I'm sure all of you are from India, and you would have seen sometimes, the train in India, they will be jam-packed. Not just to the capacity, not just full, but maybe double or triple. The coaches will have, to be filled with human beings, sometimes animals, sometimes cycles hanging from the windows and all kinds of things, various things. People are sitting on the top. So there was one such occasion where there was a train which was going from Calcutta to Mayapur, and it was jam-packed, Blue Diamond or Black Diamond, something, I don't know what express, something like that. And the seat which is meant for 3 people, there are 4 people who are sitting. And Prabhupada is saying, imagine you are the 4th person who's sitting on the edge. And you are sitting and the train is going and everybody is, a little bit, they're shaking and the train is moving forward. And at the same time, there is one man who's standing at the door. The Indian trains, they don't have, the doors, it's open. So he's standing there and he's looking, his whole focus is how he can come and squeeze in between you and the person who's sitting next to you. That little space that is there, how he can come. So he sees from that door, and then he comes to the place, to the aisle where you are sitting, and then comes in between the space, and he's looking at the fan on the ceiling, and then he's trying to look for that opportune moment where you are inattentive. And when you are inattentive, you're little looking here and there or something, that man goes and sits in the space which is there between the 3rd person and you. He somehow squeezes in, and the train is going and everybody is shaking, and then you get adjusted in that. So he's also settled there. And then he sits, and after sitting, he takes his hands like this, and he keeps his hand like this, and he calls his wife, who's standing in one corner, and his wife comes, and his wife is, as Prabhupada says, is fat. She's little, she's healthy. So he comes, and then so he's now you're sitting, somehow you're managing and you're seated there. Now somehow he squeezes a little bit this side and makes another space, and he gives indication to his wife to sit there. Now the wife sits there, she's fat, so you, instead of sitting like this, you turn that side, right? Because there is no space and you're courteous, you're careful and respectful to a lady who's sitting, so you turn that side. If that is not enough, then he keeps his hand like this and he calls his 2 children who are there. And the 2 children come, and then he spreads his legs and he puts those 2 children also to sit there. By the time when this happens, you are actually out. Prabhupada tells this story for a reason. He tells, when Maya attacks us, it doesn't attack overnight. It doesn't happen that, you are chanting 16 rounds today and tomorrow it becomes 0. 16 becomes 14. 14 becomes 12. 12 becomes 8 quality rounds. Let me chant 8 quality rounds instead of chanting 12. And then 8 becomes 4. You don't even realize when it has become 0. So it is that chalta hai attitude in our life which actually doesn't chalta hai, nahi chalta hai. So just that little inattention where he allowed that man to sit led to all these things that he's out. Similarly, in our life, if I'm not attentive or if I'm missing my sadhana for a day or two, I should be concerned. I should have some healthy fear inside. Oh, what am I doing? If that is not there, if I become callous, like sometimes, some people are too callous to some unclean place. It doesn't bother. I'm just so used to it, doesn't bother. Clean, unclean, it's the same. So sometimes, we also in our life, that fineness, if it is gone, and I'm okay to that. Okay, I missed one day. No, tomorrow I'll do it. 2 days I missed. No, I'll come back. That okay will actually become the cause of our fall down. So that is why Shastras say, Kshurasya dharam. It's walking on the razor's edge. Inattention anywhere here and there, there will be bloodshed. Bloodshed means not actually physically some blood will come out from somewhere. No. Bloodshed means our spiritual life will go for a toss. Interest will go down. The purpose why we started this journey also will be lost. And we'll go back to square one, same place where we were in the beginning. Does that help, Ankita?
Yes, that helps.
I also see there is a new person who has joined today, Paul Raj. Do you have anything to say, Paul Raj?
No, Prabhuji. I'm actually first time I'm hearing this thing. It's good actually for me. Let me experience and I will touch base with Ankit.
Where are you coming from, Paul Raj? Where are you joining from?
I'm from Chennai actually. Now I'm visiting at Woonsocket, Rhode Island.
Welcome. Any other question?
No, Prabhuji, I'm good.
Good to see Lakshmi Narayan Prabhu after some time. How are you, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu, I'm doing good, Prabhu.
Are you in Hyderabad?
Yeah, I'm back to Hyderabad this week, Prabhu.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, I had a tough time to internet connectivity and all other things. I was not able to join regularly, but I was some of the doing off indeed.
Are you going to be in Hyderabad for some more time, or you will go back to your?
This month I will be here, Prabhu.
So thank you all for joining. I hope you, as I said, we don't have to, know so many things, too many things, and then at the end of the day we don't remember anything. Simple things, 1 or 2 things which we learn, we should try to put them in practice. We should apply them in our life. Then there is a positive eagerness to hear that seeking association of devotees means there is an eagerness. Eagerness doesn't mean that one will just cease if there are some challenges. No, he'll endeavor also. And these 2 things, eagerness and the endeavor, are the key which attracts the mercy of the Lord. Same holds true when Mother Yashoda was trying to bind Krishna. Eagerness and endeavor to associate with devotees, the devotees also will become merciful towards that person and will find time and spare and talk, and everything will happen. So that eagerness is a very important thing in our life, and that endeavor, because ultimately we have to do something for Krishna. We cannot just sit and, okay, I'm eager, bro. In my heart, I'm eager. But what to do? I have got my other things to do. So whenever I find time, I will come. That will not work. So,
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. One question, Prabhu. I realized that the last 1 month, I know I'm not able to join the classes, but I'm still trying to do the chanting and all, but a lot of times missing the association, and really makes, sometimes you feel like you're slipping away. And so a lot of times, even though you do self-controlled and you're trying to be disciplined, but still that motivation, sometimes we lose the motivation with a lot of other many factors come into life. So,
You're
so
right.
in such situations, when you're alone and you don't have those proper association or way means of doing that, what's your guidance on that?
So as I said, no, Prabhu, that self-controlled and self-disciplined is a very important thing. It is very difficult. That is the precise reason why International Society for Krishna Consciousness Prabhupada created. And he's in that purport, his divine grace is saying, seek association of devotees. Call up a devotee. When you realize that you're not feeling good, your consciousness is not proper, seek association. Don't wait for things to become something which is beyond your control or beyond somebody's control, where you completely have gone in a tangential way, because we know this is not right now. And then that is why one has to be very strict with the sadhana thing. Sadhana means I must hear, I must chant. It is difficult. It is not easy. But if you remember, the saying of the soldiers, the more you bleed in the more you sweat in. I'm just missing it. The meaning of the essence of that is, when there is no war, the more you sweat in that, the less you'll bleed in the war. So even if there is, so that is why when things are going proper, well, I should be even more careful. I should do my chanting, sadhana, everything pakka. Because who knows what is going to happen tomorrow? What situation I'll be put in, who knows? Even the association of devotees which is coming in our way, as you rightly said, sometimes we take it granted. ठीक है, एक दिन किया, नहीं किया, क्या फर्क पड़ता है? But it फर्क पड़ता है. It makes a lot of difference. That is why Prabhupada is stressing so much on this hearing. In his song, when he landed here in the US, Bado Kripa Koile Krishna, in that he is writing, Srinvata Sokatha Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana, Hridayantasto hi avadrani vidhunoti surut sutam. The whole thing he is writing. Srinvata Sokatha. Hearing is so important. So the suggestion to you will be, don't listen to the temptations of your mind, which is not easy at all. In the beginning of Bhagavad Gita, when Krishna begins to instruct about the symptoms of Sthita Prajna, he's telling, Prajahati yada kaman sarvan partho manogatan atmani evatmana tushta Sthita Prajnasya tadochyate. Manogatan, Prajahati yada kaman sarvan partho manogatan, which is produced of our mind. Mind, whatever these ideas it is giving, 99% they are bad, they are wrong. Prajahati, give up. See, Bharat Maharaj, he gave up everything, went to the forest, started associating with his mind, and then got associated with deer. Instead of becoming Krishna conscious, he became deer conscious. So association with mind is always 99%. It is asat. It gives all reasons, justifications for not doing the spiritual activity. So give up that and do your sadhana properly. Be strict on your sadhana and seek association of devotees. When you realize that the consciousness is dripping, it is, you should sense.
Yeah, thanks, Prabhu. So one good thing is I was able to make my family members also do the Damodarastakam this time. All the daily we did, all the whole month.
Very nice.
So also I was also able to carry some Bhagavad Gita books from Hyderabad and distribute it. Also, I was able to do some extent and give some of them, introduce the Hare Krishna mantra to some people with Jap Mala. So that was a good aspect.
A very good thing, because that when we preach, when we talk to others about our realizations, about what we have understood, even if I have not known many things, I don't know the verses. If I just simply tell another person, why don't you chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra? I get actually spiritual benefit. I get the spiritual mercy of the Lord. So these are all things which we should try. But as we are seeing, session is how we can remain in association of devotees and take advantage and make progress in our spiritual. So
good. Thanks, Prabhu.
Any other question or thoughts? No other questions, then we will stop here, and we will have some sessions based on Bhagavad Gita till the time our Gita Jayanti comes up, which is on 25th of December. As I said, don't see why that other person is not joining. Or he used to come, he's not there. So let me also take clue from him and not join. No, this should not be our role model. Our role model should be, how should I make advancement? Someone who's far advanced than me. How can I become like him? How can I develop a consciousness like him? So I should be very selfish about that, not in the negative side. To become materialistic conscious is very easy. You don't need anything. So that's nothing great. But to be able to follow this instructions of the spiritual master, it's such a great joy. It's to be able to experience this bliss, the higher bliss which Krishna is talking about. It's wonderful. So with that thought, I'll stop here and we will meet again tomorrow. Thank you all for joining. Before we end, I'll request each one of you to come in front of your camera and we will chant once Hare Krishna Mahamantra and stop. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki, Shri Shri Nitai Gauranga ki, Nitai Gaur Premanande. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.